What is up, guys, and welcome to another episode of my HLTV Fantasy. Today we are looking at Thunderpick World Championship 2023. I'm not gonna show you previous lineups this time because, my last video was quite recently and there haven't been too many developments yet. But let's just jump straight into Thunderpick. I expect that the seeding from groups, first and second, is going to be kind of similar to Rubet, so the last video, meaning that the first place of Group A and B are on the same side of the bracket. So you don't want to pick from Group A and B the majority of your players, I would say. And again, look, this is something I've been thinking about lately, is like this strategy of going 2, 2, and 1 always, pretty much always. I think it is risky in a way because you're not spreading your resources between different teams, and sometimes that can be good. But especially now that I want to get those top 1%ers get into the top percent for each event, I think it's just the correct play to maximize the chances of getting a really, really good lineup, which is all I need to go for at this stage. But that being said, Cloud9, Fnatic, NiP, VP, probably the hardest group to predict. I'd say Cloud9, Fnatic, VP have all shown pretty good signs. NiP we haven't really seen anything from yet. In CS2 especially, they have just benched Hampus and brought in Hesetag as an interim IGL. I would say I wouldn't go NiP. I think VP is a decent pick here if you want to go for it, but most likely I'm just going to avoid Group A completely because it is quite tough to predict unless I think Cloud9 prices were pretty ridiculous at some stages, like Exile at 202k is an option if you want to take a risky one. But yeah, probably not going to go for Group A at all. Then Group B, things get a bit easier. I would say Monty and FaZe are the obvious favorites. I would probably go towards Monty just because of the rumors that Twists might be leaving FaZe. We don't know how true this is, and we don't know if it's gonna actually materialize. Don't know what's going on with FaZe in total at all, I would say. But I just think Monty are a more stable team. I would say CS2 has looked pretty okay for them. I would favor them going into this one. They are playing Wildcard also first, so that should be one of the easier matchups. Group C, Spirit, Complexity, Mouse, M80. Mouse are now playing with Chimpat again, I would assume at least. Spirit didn't play that well in the first match of Rubet. Complexity, of course, made finals in the last event, but we are going into online, which could, especially in CS2, actually matter quite a lot. M80 I wouldn't really think about too much. If you go for Group C, I would say either Mouse or Spirit is where I would go. Probably Mouse, to be honest. I think I've been very impressed by Mouse. Last event they did quite well when you think about the fact that they didn't have Chimpat on the server. So yeah, I think Mouse is probably going to be where I'm headed if I go for anything from Group C. Then Group D, Heroic, Nouns, Furia, Big. I wouldn't go for Heroic. Of course, we all know what's going on with them, with KDN leaving, and now they actually, I don't think this was mentioned in the last event or last video yet, but with Staven and Yabi also being benched now, because they're gonna have really big problems right now, I would say. Nouns, I wouldn't really go there. Furia did win last night. My cello pick did okay. I'm not that convinced though. And Big is like the other. I would say Furia and Big are definitely the favorites going into Group D. Probably Big is gonna win their group if I had to guess. I believe Big have looked pretty okay so far in CS2. Yeah, they won this North Europe Series 8, which was played on CS2. They 2-0'd every match. Also against Spirit, which is impressive. Mantu actually top fragging here. Has he been having a good time in CS2 then? Looks like a pretty good He's in pretty good form right now. So maybe you do want to go for like a big pick, but I don't know how expensive the big players are here. So Mantu at 202k, and he's been fragging quite a lot. I think I'm probably gonna go there. These prices are very affordable. Oh yeah, one thing to also mention, Monty actually replaced Liquid in this event. So these prices aren't the real prices, if you want to put it that way. These prices are representative of like, this is NAF, this is OC, something like this. So the prices are of the cheapest players on the team, and this makes some of the picks better and some of them worse. I would say maybe Krasnal is a bit expensive. I don't know. I would say everyone is kind of affordable, but someone like Woro at 207k makes a lot of sense. Demka at 202k. These are really good picks now. Samdayan also at 199. I think these three are the ones I would be going towards here if I go for Monty. And I probably am going for Monty. Also, a reason to go for Monty is the fact that they're not among the most picked. Actually, FaZe is quite picked. Obviously, they won the last event. But it was a LAN event. FaZe is a better LAN team than online team, I would always say. FaZe are also in possibly the midst of a roster change, and a pretty big one, I would say. Twists out would be a pretty big blow for them, because he's been there for quite a long time as well. Yeah, most likely I'm gonna go towards these multiplayers, so I'm gonna pick Woro and Demka for now, and then if I need to free up some funds, I'll go for that. Actually, maybe it's better to go for like these two guys, and then if I get Woro in, I get him in. Probably going towards big. Someone like Crimbo is... How has Crimbo played lately? Or has it been more of a Tubsen and Mantu show? He's still really fragging quite a lot. He's doing well for himself as well. All of the players are really on big. Big are feeling themselves. I think Mantu makes a lot of sense here, based on how well he's been playing in the last few events. This doesn't show last event at least. Actually not as high. Only 3 maps played. Why does he have... I thought I checked at least more than that in terms of maps. Here, matches. I mean, they played at least 8 maps here. Or am I looking at a different event? ECT, oh, this is North Europe series. Different series. Yeah, different tournament. So this is a more recent tournament for him. And this is a more recent tournament for like Crimbo. Okay. What is someone like Tubsen priced at? Or how has Tubsen been playing? North Europe series, 1.14, 1.24. Also been having a really good time. Maybe these two are the ones. This might be the kind of event where I just go for a lot of these cheaper players, I guess. Or like medium price players, I would say. I would say Mouse is probably the most likely one to get out of this, but I guess I don't have to go for Woro, but he's the most kind of discounted player in this event. 185 now. I would like to get like a Shui in. Process wouldn't give me quite enough. I go from Tubsen to Process at least. If you go Young here onto Process, now we probably have enough for a Shui. But how has Process been playing here? PS2. He's also been having a good event here. It's tough because he's generally, I wouldn't say, he's like he's expected to be the lowest fragger on the team, I would say. You could of course go for like Mantu double mouse, but then it's very hard to get the more expensive Monty players. I think it makes more sense to have more big players and then just gamble on them beating Furia. I do think Big are a better team than Furia right now, at least. Dupree at 195. Hobbit at 193. But it is that kind of group of death, in my opinion. I would rather have a mouse player like Shui. I think Shui is a very stable pick. But I'm not so convinced by Process, and I think I can get Tupsen, Crimbo, Sin. All of these players are ones that I would rather have. But it could be hard to afford them. What if we go like Woro and Casnal? We're still 1k off, right? Yeah. Off. I do want Mantu. I think just having Opers is always nice. What about Demka and Samdayang though? Then we do get to Shui money again. This is quite... I think this is probably the way to go. How has Woro been fragging in CS2? I wish there was a CS2 filter. That would be lovely here, like CS2. If we go all time here, in Sydney he didn't really do that well. This was of course the first kind of plan CS2 event. It's been like mixed results, I suppose, for Woro. I think then it probably makes sense to go for a lineup along like lines. I would say Shui is probably the best pick at this price point. There's players like Roy who I could see being a decent pick if you want to gamble in Group A. I'm pretty happy to go with Shui though, just because I do expect Mouse to actually go 2-0 in this group. Yeah, I would say it's gonna be... Yeah, so Monty, Big, Mouse. I think I'm picking the three from out of like 3 of the teams I would expect to top their groups, and that always is a good thing to do, especially because if they all top their groups, even like Shui is not gonna play against Monty or Big in this first quarterfinals round, because it's always like first seed against second seed. So yeah, let's go with this. Obvious roles, main op here. Probably the only actually obvious role. No real support players. I think Shui is one of these players who has such a higher CT rating than other roles. You would never go noob. Could go leader, but I don't think that's the way to go, especially because I'm assuming right now that this is a whole event. Yeah, it's for the whole event, not just for groups. Yeah, I think CT rating for Shui is the way to go. Demka. Decent multi-fragging. Better attacker. Attacker seems to be the way to go with Demka. Hubsen. Multi-fragger actually quite decent. Entry fragger quite decent. I didn't know Hubsen was kind of entering that much for his team. That makes sense. Let's go for it. Yeah, 11.1%. That's very decent. You could go attacker or entry here as well. Not bad stats for that, but I guess this is just better. Actually, yeah, I would say it's still better. And then Samdai Young. Actually got very decent eco-friendly stats here. You could go leader if you want to risk it, and it is probably worth it for the risk actually. But there's yeah, it's like you need to 2-0. I'm not sure if he's gonna 2-0 that many matches. They're gonna 2-0 the first one against Wildcard, I would expect, but maybe you just go eco-friendly. It seems to be the best role for him, alongside GL. Makes sense. Okay, I think that's the lineup. I'll throw the boosters on as well, of course. These are kind of easier matchups, so if there's a Mr. Consistent, for example, Demka, nice. Probably main AWP is gonna be Feeling 22, although I'm not so sure. Like, it's tough to go Feeling 2022 because CS2 AWPing is kind of not as good, but he's probably still gonna be AWPing quite a lot. So I don't think I'm too afraid of that. Scorecard, 8 kills. 1-2 is insane Avenger. Let's go into this here. Some Diang pistol. Yeah, I mean, we have eco-friendly as well, but probably not against Wildcard. He's most likely gonna be more on actual rifles. At least I would expect that to be the case. Against Furia Thompson, yeah, this is the tougher matchup in the group, so I think that makes sense. 8 Rambo, actually really good, and we're probably gonna get to use. We expect to get to use a lot of boosters here. Where's the here? It's like 3 matches here, or actually 2 matches probably only, and then 3, 4, 5, 10, 20. Yeah, you should be looking at using all of your boosters if your players do well and make it to the playoffs and such. Shui had defender against 80. Could be a risky thing to throw Feeling 22 here, but it is something I'm considering. I'd use this against this team. I'd rather have Topsen on the nade. No rule. I'm sorry, none of the boosters are doing that well. I'm gonna actually risk it with the Feeling 22. I don't feel like anything is that secure. Quite risky though. Maybe I just save it for Mantu. It's probably too risky, to be honest. Headshot percentage. I guess there's some real headshot players on the bait. I'll probably use on Shui eventually. This is also pretty much quite even, honestly. I'll go for best pistol round Shui here. It's tough because there's like Sershen, Frozen, Yimpat, even Dorji. All of them are decent pistol players, but let's go for this. But yeah, oh yeah, I wanted to shout out myself on Twitter. I made a thread for the Rubet Cup where I kind of predicted the whole event, the groups, and then playoffs bracket if the groups go as I expect. Already there's of course gonna be some like there were some like changes to how it went. So like I think Aurora lost to Heroic, so Heroic aren't lost in their group like I predicted them to be. But I'll probably make the same thing for this Thunderpick event. Let's see. But either way, you should follow me on Twitter if you don't already, because I do, or X, I guess, because I do sometimes post things relating to CS Fantasy. And yeah, if you enjoy this kind of content, remember to leave a like and subscribe to my channel. I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.